Hey guys, and welcome to Money Talks News, the podcast that makes you richer one day at a time. You've undoubtedly met people who've made a lot of money in the stock market and probably dreamed you'd like to become one too. If that's you, I've got some great news. You can learn to be a successful stock investor, make some money, and maybe even make some friends while you're at it. How? By joining an investment club. Today we welcome Ionnie McNeil, a member of the nonprofit National Association of Investors, to give us the lowdown. Hey, Ionnie.
Hey, Stacy. How are you?
I am flawless. How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well.
That's what we like to hear. Okay. Let's jump right in and start talking about this stuff. Now, let me tell you, I've been around the block. I've been doing consumer and personal finance news for 40 years. I used to do it on TV stations, and I've done lots of TV news on investment clubs. I've spoken before investment clubs. I've done story after story on them. But give us an idea of what an investment club really is.
And that's a great question. In the simplest terms, an investment club is a group of people that decide to get together and pool their resources together in order to invest and learn about investing together. So I like to tell people that investment clubs are actually private by nature. Many times you don't know that investment club exists unless somebody in the investment club invites you to join or visit their investment clubs. But in the simplest terms, it's just a group of people that get together, decide that they're going to pool some of their money together, generally as equal partners, and then go invest. And that can be in the stock market. But I've met investment clubs that also invest in real estate together, other securities. So.
Oh, that's cool. I never even thought about doing that with real estate. Now, let me ask our other panelists, Aaron and Miranda. Are you guys familiar with investment clubs at all?
I am. From when Sonia used to work in real estate, there was a real estate agent over there that was trying to pull us into, throwing down a bunch of cash to buy, a bunch of investment properties.
Oh, for real estate again, huh?
Yeah.
I've never even heard of that. I just heard with the stock market thing.
It's more like flipping houses. We all pull our money in. He would work on the house and then flip it for profit and then just keep doing it. And everybody gets a percentage on the top.
That's kind of cool. Now, Iona, how long have you been doing investing through an investment club?
That's a great question. Only 4 years. I've actually been a member of Better Investing as an individual member for 24 years. I actually just had my 24th year anniversary. I joined as a youth member June 13th. I just looked at the receipt. So I was an individual member of Better Investing for 20 years before I started an investment club, which was in September 2012.
Now, why do I want to be in an investment club? Why don't I just invest on my own?
That's a great question. Investment clubs aren't for everybody. And it's funny enough, although I'm doing this podcast, I actually usually discourage people from joining an investment club until they know how they best learn and operate. Investment clubs are best for people that feel they need to learn with others, feel that they don't want to go at it alone. And for many people, investing is too scary, too risky. And so if you feel that way and feel like you would do better with other people who prioritize education, investment education, and learning and earning together, then it would be a good fit to either join or start an investment club. But if you're actually a self-starter and, can do all this stuff, have the initiative, you can do it on your own, I wouldn't recommend doing it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Now, Miranda, I think, Miranda, you would be perfect for this. The reason being, Miranda and I have known each other a long time. She does not buy individual stocks. I basically only buy individual stocks. So, Miranda, if pooling your resources and your knowledge with other people, would that make you more comfortable to be in an investment club rather than just, to buy individual issues?
I mean, the problem, of course, is that I'm lazy. And so I like indexing because I'm lazy. I'm like, even pooling the resources, I'd still have to research these individual stocks. So yeah, The thing that I find interesting about investment clubs is that it is an interesting way to meet with people, to learn, as Ionnie said. And I'd be curious to know, Ionnie said she started her investment club. So what did you start? What are the assets that your investment club focuses on?
So we only invest in stocks, and we're actually, the name of our club is the South Florida Model Investment Club. So Better Investing as a nonprofit, all of our chapters has an investment club, or I should say a model investment club attached. And the reason we have a model investment club is because it's for educational purposes. So people that are interested in investment clubs are interested in learning or watching an investment club, how they work, how they operate, how they implement Better Investing's 4 core principles. Then they can visit any model investment club. You don't have to be a member, and watch how we pull our money together and analyze stocks, buy stocks, sell stocks, and just learn how to do the research.
That's what I was going to say, because Miranda just said like she was going to go on her own and just do all this research. But there's a lot of people that like that, they find that scary. So this is kind of a good way to learn how to do all that from people who have done it. And you've done it for, what do you say, 24 years now?
Yeah. I mean, and the reason I'm explaining things like this, because there's a difference between Better Investing as a nonprofit. You have people that are, I was an individual member actually for most of my life, and I actually prefer that way. But since I've been in an investment club, I can say that I've actually learned a lot, because I've learned from other people that are more advanced than me. And so it's like hanging out with the straight A students, being able to sometimes even watch them analyze stocks or dig into the annual report, the earnings report. It's about community sometimes, and this community isn't for everybody. It's really for those that either geek out on this stuff and like you, Stacy, not just feel that they could beat the market, but they want to create their own portfolio. And then this Better Investing is also for the people that don't want to go it alone. So I'll give you an example, and this hasn't come up in our conversation yet, but sometimes people want to share saving and investing with their family. A family investment club would be a really great thing to start. But anybody that comes to me and says, hey, I'm learning this stuff, I want to start a family investment club, I actually say, start a family money book club first.
What's a money book club?
I figure if people are willing to read money books together.
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay.
Then it would help elevate the conversation and weed out the people that's not really interested in learning the information and developing the mindset, to then pull $25 together as a family or as a club and then invest.
Now, this is what I was going to ask you too. Let's back up a couple of steps here. How many people are in your investment club?
Right now, 23.
Oh, that's a lot. Because typically they're more like 10, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you've got a big investment club.
We're big, but we're new. So even when we started with like 30, and some people dropped out. Life happens, but we in Better Investing, we have clubs that've been around for 50, 70 years. Yeah. And sometimes they dwindle down to 12, 10, 5, 7 people.
Have you heard of the Bairdstown ladies?
Oh,
Ionnie?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So now for those of you who haven't been around as long as I have, the Bairdstown ladies were a famous investment club. I forgot where they were, somewhere on the East Coast, I believe. But anyway, they wrote a book because they had outperformed the market by this huge margin. It was 24% or something like that they had made per year. And just a little old ladies in a group. It turned out that after the book was published, that they'd actually earned 9% per year. They didn't lie on purpose, but didn't. They just misrepresented their returns. But anyway, the point is this. You get a bunch of people together. Now, let's talk about the actual structure of this, though, Ionnie. Okay, so you've got 23, you said, right? Okay, so now everybody puts in what, $25 a month?
For us, it's either $25 or $50 a month.
Okay. So, and that can vary by club. This is something you establish when you set up your club.
Absolutely.
And now, obviously, we've got all these people pooling their money. They're buying stocks, and each one of the people, or at some point, they're being assigned. Let's look at this stock, and somebody's assigned, or maybe a couple of people are assigned to look that stock up, to learn about, and you've got the tools from the umbrella organization to know how to look at these stocks and how to judge them. Then you come back with a report for your other members, right? And you say, yeah, this stock that you assigned me to look up, here's what I found out. We should buy it or we shouldn't buy it. And then everybody votes. Is that how it goes?
Yes.
Okay. Now, here's the other thing, though. Here's the other thing. This. How is this? This is obviously its own separate entity. You don't have 25 people on a brokerage account. You have your investment club on the brokerage account, right?
It's a partnership.
Okay, so it's a partnership. Okay, so then everybody owns a percentage of this. Okay.
And that's calculated by your contribution amount each month.
How do you decide what stocks to investigate or what stocks to buy?
Well, we just start first with what we know in terms of research, right? Because I'm going to give you the experience from my club. When we started, 90% of our original members were beginners. So what did we do? I was actually the president at the time. I said, well, there are, 13 sectors or 12 sectors in the stock market?
That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that.
Well, there are however many sectors. And I said, each of us pair up with a partner.
11. There are currently 11. There are currently 11 sectors. I just did a thing. I just wrote an article about the sectors. And so I was just like,
right.
And I remember.
So I said, right. So the first year, we actually partnered up with somebody we didn't know, but they were in the club. We took each partner pair took a sector, and each sector was presented each month for a year. And that was part of our education plan. So they will present to the club the sector, within the sector, the industries, and then within those industries, they will present at least one stock from one of the industries. So just that exercise got everybody exposed. And clearly my memory didn't allow for me to remember it was only 11. But it got us all exposed to the sectors. And within sectors, there are industries, and within the industries, you have individual stocks. And then our second year, we took the book Take Stock, and by Ellis Traub, and there were, I think, 12 or 13 chapters in that book. And the same pair that did the sector report in the first year, they did one of the chapters. We all read it together as a club. But each month, each pair would present on their chapter and share at least one thing that they found interesting or they learned new in that chapter. And so to answer specifically your question about how do we evaluate or pick the stocks, Better Investing has a software called the Stock Selection Guide. And a part of being an investment club is actually doing a stock selection guide, or SSG, on the stock. The stock selection guide, in short, helps you determine if the company is a high quality growth company. And what high quality growth means is, are there income statements and balance sheets for the past 5 to 10 years? Are they growing? And if so, at what rate? At what rate is sales growing for the past 5 to 10 years? At what rate is earnings per share growing for the past 5 to 10 years? And then after we determine growth, then we determine at what price is a reasonable price to be purchasing this type of stock. Mm-hmm. And of course, when you learn that type of information, then you understand that PEs within the technology sector is different than PEs within the financial sector. And then the way you look at cyclical stocks is different than how you look at, other stocks. And so you start to learn these nuances. And once you just have cash, like anybody, right? You have cash and you start to pick what you think are the best companies, then you've created a portfolio. And once you start to have a portfolio, then how you pick stocks changes, because now you are going to be adding stocks based on your portfolio goals and your portfolio makeup. So are you, overexposed in technology and communications? Are you underexposed in energy and utilities? Do you even want utilities? But all of that is going to come from, why are you investing? What type of returns are you looking for? And that is why, from a personal level, the portfolio of a retiree would look different than the portfolio of a 50-year-old or a 30-year-old or 15-year-old.
So you want to get like-minded investors. You want to get people like you in a group, right? You don't want to have one person like me who's ancient and one person like you who's a puppy. You want growth. I want preservation.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
I'm asking you. I don't know.
No, when you say like-minded, it just depends. Why are you a group anyway?
Yeah. Why?
Are you a
I was
group
going
to
to ask you
learn
that.
from other people? Yeah.
Why are you a group? How did you get 30 people together? Who are they?
Right. There are people who wanted to learn how to invest.
But how did you find them?
Oh, they're members of Better Investing.
Okay, so you basically just say, I'm going to start a new club. Who wants to be a member? Right? Is that how you got the people?
No, the people were in the general public. They were saying, hey, I want to learn investing.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to do it alone. And so we said, okay, well, let's start an investment club. But one of the requirements of being an investment club was that you had to be a Better Investing member.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. So
because we want people to actually do their homework. We don't want to create a club where the smart people are doing most of the work and everybody is just sitting and,
That's why That's why you give assignments to everybody to do.
Well, that's why you give assignments, but it's also, you end up being illegal from an investment club perspective, and you become a mutual fund very quickly. There are SEC guidelines to what an investment club is and how we differ from a mutual fund. We all have to actively participate.
How many experts are in a club per group?
None.
Yeah, I would. No, when I say experts, I just mean if you didn't know anything about investing and I knew something, then you would put me on a pedestal.
Oh, so how's the leadership role happening within that group? How do they know what to do? So so everybody's they're following a guideline. They're following a Better Investment guideline. Well,
yeah, and then you just it's you learn together. When two people that never been married before get married, what do? You learn together.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And now, when I first covered these things, Ionnie, back in the day, people literally got together physically because there was no internet when I first did this story.
Absolutely.
And obviously, my assumption is that now that is no longer a requirement. You probably have members of your club from all over the country, even the world, potentially, right?
Right. Well, we have visitors from all over the world, but we have members from about 5 different states. It's incorporated in Florida though. And so based on, we file our taxes every year and we send all the members a K-1. But a lot of the tax codes help guide us on, who to let in from which state, because different states have different filing requirements.
So betterinvesting.org helps you guys set up all the stuff. They tell you, here's what you need to do. Here's how you set it up. Here's how you get your taxes done. So that's their whole purpose, right? Is to help facilitate this sort of thing.
Yes. And if you go to betterinvesting.org and scroll all the way down at the bottom in the black area, there is a link that says request an investment club mentor. If you fill that out, you don't even have to be a Better Investing member. It's like 5 questions. If you fill that out, somebody from Better Investing's home office will reach out to you to see, do you want to start an investment club and how they can help you start an investment club.
I think we should start an investment club, you guys.
Sure. Okay. Can you do all the work?
Yeah, I was going to say, I know what it feels like to be the smart person doing all the work when everybody else just hangs out and does nothing.
I would like you to do all the work.
Well, we should invite all of our listeners. We can have this giant investment club with thousands of members, and we can all argue about what stocks to buy. What do you think?
Perfect. I think they should all send their $25 a month to me.
I don't think so, Miranda.
I think that's how we should set it up. We'll have them send their $25 a month to me.
Let's not do that. Let's do this, though. Let's ask the big question. Ionnie, are you making money?
Yes.
How do you know what your returns are so far this year?
Actually, I don't.
Well, just make something up and make it sound good.
I think it's somewhere between 9 and 12%.
It's not bad. I think the market's up 14. The S&P 500 is up about 14% this year, I think.
Yeah, we just did some weeding. Right now, our portfolio is actually very well diversified. I know we just added some technology stocks to the portfolio.
Hopefully NVIDIA. Did you add NVIDIA?
No, we didn't add NVIDIA. But we were looking at Fortinet, FT&T, and Qualisys. We had a new member of our club who actually presented it in order to join the club over a year ago, and it had been up over 50%. So
nice.
It's what is actually really nice. I'm glad you said NVIDIA is, and I'm sure you probably know this as an individual stock investor. Once you really learn how to identify a high quality growth company, you can find gems that nobody's really talking about.
Yeah, that's cool.
I was going to ask you that. That's what the question I forgot from earlier. You said that you had people looking at different sectors and then they're digging down into the individual company. Where else are you bringing information in from? Like, what other resources? Are you looking at cyclical information from historic point of view? Are you looking at, instead of just digging into the books of a company, are you looking at news articles saying, oh, look at this, somebody's talking about this in a science magazine, let's look into this company? Or IPOs, are you looking at any of these kind of other things?
Yeah, but that's a great question, Aaron. That stuff is maybe 10% of what we look at. At Better Investing, our methodology gears us toward long-term investing. So we're looking at 5 to 10, at least 5, but preferably at least the past 10 years worth of financial data. And the way we look at the financial data is very easy. This SSG gives us a visual representation of the income statement. So we're not
looking SSG? You just said SSG, didn't you?
SSG is the stock selection guide. So,
okay. Yep.
The intellectual property of Better Investing is one of them is the stock selection guide. And we have a Morningstar data feed. Before data feeds, we as Better Investing members used to go to the library and make a copy of the value line report and go to the SSG and type in the data. And so many of our members are very comfortable with looking at value line data on a specific company and Morningstar data on a specific company. And once we get that kind of full history, then a lot of our members will go and look at the annual report, the earnings report, and then to your point, Aaron, about the new stuff. And to be honest, that's really what separates or differentiates Better Investing investors versus everybody else, honestly. Everybody else is usually looking at a very short-term amount of data, 1 year, 3 years, last 3 months, 6 months, but we're looking 10 years. And then we add on recent stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. I've always said that there's an inverse relationship between your time horizon and your returns. So the longer you're willing to wait, the more successful you're likely to be. And people who day trade are going to have their ass handed to them sooner or later, and probably sooner. So now, Miranda, you've heard all this stuff. So now let me ask you
it seems like a lot of work. It just seems like a lot of work.
Well, no, it seems like a smart thing to do, because it helps you understand the stock market. It helps you pick good investments. And remember what a lot of people are doing in these clubs, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ionnie, but what a lot of people are doing is they're putting in their $25, but they're getting a lot of information they can use on the side. Right? I mean, they may be putting in their $25 a month in the club, but they're putting in $2,500 of their own. So you're mining information from your peers in the club, and you're using that to make yourself richer. And to me, this makes a lot of sense. And Miranda, I'm going to insist that you join an investing club. And you can't. And by the way, you can't show up at the club, Miranda, and say, "I suggest we buy the S&P 500 index fund." No, that won't work. You got to come up with an actual individual company.
But I don't want to get between Stacey and Miranda. But Miranda, let me give you an out. Can I give you an out? Another option?
Oh, it's fine. I've got an out. My out is I'm doing just fine. And
so let me recommend.
I've got enough money to support the lifestyle I am accustomed to.
Right.
I'm good.
Let me recommend this. Keep the index funds. Keep the what you're doing, Miranda, and just become individual member of Better Investing, because an individual membership is worth the magazine alone. Is worth the entire membership. And so, like I said, investment clubs aren't for everybody, but a Better Investing membership is for everybody. And I would say get an individual membership, and at least get once you start getting the magazine and seeing that, we're covering articles from estate planning, taxes, Social Security, planning for retirement. We do every month a book review, a money book review. You actually also get to see, we have a column called Repair Shop, where we have professionals evaluate an investment club's portfolio, talk about their weak points, talk about where they probably could improve. Maybe they're overweight in an Apple or something like that. So just the magazine alone, honestly, is worth the membership, and you don't have to be in an investment club to be a member of Better Investing.
How much does it cost?
The membership is $145
a year.
So it's less than your Amazon Prime and Hulu. I know for me. So
that's great. And I think we convinced Miranda. I think Miranda's ready to pull the trigger on this.
We're going to do this.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're almost out of time, but I'll tell you something. And you guys have heard me say this many times before, but I used to say just buy the S&P 500 index fund. And I still would say that for people who don't want to, have no interest in this really. But for me, and now I tell people, 90% of your long-term savings, S&P 500 index fund maybe, but take 10%. Do a little research, because you know what? You can hit a home run. I made $1 million in Apple. I'm up $250,000 in NVIDIA. And these are not returns I would get from the S&P 500 index fund. Right. Now, I'm not saying I made lots of mistakes too. Do not get me wrong. I'm not bragging about this at all. I'm just saying, to me, it's fascinating. For one thing, and it can be super, super rewarding when you pick a stock, and this is a great way to learn how to do that. I think anyway.
I agree.
Yeah, and I think, and I do actually have some small little dabblings. I've tried some stuff. I did. I bought some Sam Adams, their parent company. I bought some of theirs way back. In 2020, after I did an analysis, because I actually, people pay me to do investment analyses for newsletters. I've done investment analysis.
You have? I never heard you say that before.
No, we actually talked about it way back, because we actually talked on the show about my my Sam, because
we talked about Sam Adams. I remember that.
Yeah. And so I had done an analysis for somebody's newsletter and was like, this could be fun. And I had some extra money, so I put it in there, and it was fun. And so, I think it's kind of, but like you said, Stacey, for most of us, for most of what I do, occasionally I do something fun. buy something that looks interesting, buy something that I did an analysis on and that I rated as a buy when I did the analysis. But the difference, of course, is I got paid to do the analysis. I'm not having to do it on my own.
I got paid to do the analysis on some of the companies I owned. A lot.
Well, that's true because because then you bought them. But yeah. So but I do think that's right, Stacey. I think that one of the things that I tell people all the time is, start out with just a basic index fund or an index ETF just to get going with the investing and just start building that wealth. And then you could start while it's growing, while it's doing this stuff. You can join your betterinvesting.org. You can join an investment club. You can do some learning on your own. But it's a really great way to just get your portfolio started and start getting those compounding returns while you learn other things.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Aaron.
Well, I was going to say, given social media and stuff out there, anybody could put together an investment club. So what's to keep people from getting scammed?
Well, going through this organization is one, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, this organization here, Better Investment, has years of a history behind it, so it's a trustworthy. But there's a lot of people out there. It'll come knocking on your door, to join an investment club either through, a snail mail or anything else. Even like that guy I was telling you, that our real estate friend who's like, "Hey, give me some money so we can do some investing." How do you avoid the scam? If it is a scam, what do you look for to not get scammed?
Yeah, that's a good question. What I would say, two things that actually come to mind to me, Aaron, is the first thing is joining or starting an investment club. If you start with education and not start with how much money you're going to get, then there's a difference in the energy of why you're even doing it. Many times when you're leading with the money, I want to join, like somebody literally, I just got I got added to a WhatsApp, and I didn't put anything in the WhatsApp, but clearly it was a scam. They said, they pick stocks and they're about, I have to act soon before I miss out, and they're closing the group. This is the first time this ever happened to me. And it just happened to me literally like this week. I still have it in my WhatsApp. And I was just like, wow. And had I not known any better, I would have was like, oh, this is a gift from God. I've been wanting to make a lot of money, and I just got added. I don't know why, but I'm not. So I was able to recognize that it was a scam. So I would say most scammers are not leading with education.
That makes sense.
And unless you're a broker or a financial advisor, you're kind of leading with education, like this white paper, and like you got people's best interests at heart, and then you do a bait and switch or a switcheroo. But to answer your question, Aaron, if you, I would say, and that's why I say, don't just go and join an investment club.
Right.
Don't even go and start an investment club. Honestly, it's too much work. It really is.
I hear that.
My inner voice is Miranda, to be honest. And so that's why I'm saying join Better Investing as an individual member, because we're a nonprofit that focuses on investment education. Once you get your own education, you make your own decisions.
That makes sense.
If you want to start an investment club, okay, fine. If you want to do something internally for your family, start an investment club, okay, fine. If you want to join an investment club, you now have the tools in which to evaluate what you're looking for. And so with Better Investing, we always lead with education. If you can visit any of our model investment clubs, which are listed on our site, it does not, we don't charge people to visit, You don't even have to join. You can visit all of your life and never join an investment club and still learn. So the space in which we're coming from this is leading with education, learning first, and then earning. And then second, Aaron, from Better Investing's perspective, we offer a fidelity bond. So if you are a Better Investing investment club, registered investment club, there's a fidelity bond that the club can purchase to cover somebody you don't know or the treasurer running off with the money. And so that option is also available. And I would say last but not least, just trust your instincts and your gut. If something don't feel right, don't do it.
Right. If they're offering unrealistic returns, or they're saying, yeah, come join for like $2,000 down or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not necessary. Yeah, no.
And I think one of the things that you said, Ionie, when you were talking about that text you received, right? They said, oh, you have to do this now.
Yeah.
When they're really with these high pressures, you have to do this now. You're going to miss out. When they start doing those things where, like you said, so if you see these things where they're saying, you have to do this now. This is an amazing opportunity. You're going to make so much money. And if you're not going to make the money if you don't join now. I agree. Like that's an issue because like true investing for the long term for most of us is all about patience, perseverance, consistency, and then just making sure, that you do the research in whatever you're doing, whether you're picking individual stocks or whether, whatever it is you're doing is, like you said, leading with that education and then knowing that you can start investing at any time. Like
Right.
you don't have to get in on a special ground floor deal.
Right.
But going to betterinvesting.org is what you guys want to do. We'll have a link to that too in our show notes. But now, correct me if I'm wrong too, Ionie. I should have looked this up. But this is a AAII, right? The American Association of Individual Investors.
That's different.
Is it really?
AAII is AAII. Better Investing is Better Investing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, people are members of both, but it's not the same.
Okay, cool. I'm glad. I thought they were connected, and they're not. So
NAIC is Better Investing, but
okay.
AAII is not.
Oh, okay. That's but they also have investment clubs too, huh?
Who, AAII?
Yeah, I could be wrong. I don't know.
I don't know about them.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I know of them, but I'm not a member. There are Better Investing members I know that also are a part of AAII, but I'm not.
But you've been around, and Better Investing, not you personally, but betterinvesting.org has been around for a very long time.
Over 70 years, 1951.
Yeah. See, so you're talking about a nonprofit organization that's been around for 70 years. That's a great place to start, folks.
And I'm going to go back to your earlier point, Stacey. Investment clubs started out of a necessity. I mean, I don't want to sound older than you, but
you're not.
Right, I know. But I'm going to take the conversation way back then.
Okay.
You talked about Beers Town Ladies, but let's take it way back to when brokers didn't have women clients. So you had wealthy widows who couldn't even really deal with the brokerage. I'm going back to when it was Morgan Stanley Dean Witter.
Yeah, well, I used to be a stockbroker in 1981. Until 1991. I was with E.F. Hutton. I don't know if you've ever heard of them.
Right. But so let's take it back to when, in order to buy stocks, you had to buy 100 share lots.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So you actually needed an investment club at that time in order to get enough money to be an investor. The barriers of entry were very high.
Yes, that is true.
Right, Stacey? Okay.
That is absolutely true.
So if we as a nonprofit are back then serving the needs of people then the new question, going to even Miranda's point, and many people don't have the long enough continuum of history to know this information, but investment clubs started out of that, giving people that didn't have an opportunity to come together and jump over the barriers of entry.
That is
Are
absolutely
investment clubs necessary now? I'm going to say no. But even though they're not a necessity, they are a luxury, because just like we're in a virtual workspace, a virtual world, many people still love community. They still love meeting with like-minded people. They love learning from others. And so, that's the service that an investment club provides. If you are in need of that service, you can find that community at Better Investing as either an individual member or a club member. But we, even at Better Investing, are really identifying that what we provide to the world, other than Reddit, other than Motley Fool, other than AAII, other than a lot of other companies is that we provide a community of self-taught investors coming from a nonprofit investment education background to where we can study stocks on our own, we can be in investment clubs, but really we can just learn and grow together. And that's really our offering when you become
that's
a member.
Awesome. And you're and that's so valuable. And I hope a lot of people take you up on or listen to this and at least avail themselves of the resources that are offered. The only hurdle I have to overcome, Ionnie, is that I don't ever want to be a member of a club that would accept me as a member.
Well, I think that leaves you with Miranda.
Well said. And you know what, guys?
I live in Idaho. I'm the only person here who lives in Idaho. It's so that I don't have to be in a club with Stacy.
I understand. Stacy, can I say one more thing?
Sure,
I did mention
absolutely.
this, but I know since we're wrapping up, I want to reiterate it. When people go to betterinvesting.org and they scroll all the way down to the bottom, they'll see two options. The first is to try our 90-day free trial, and that's no credit card even asked or required. So I would really recommend people do that. And when you do that, you won't get a BI Magazine mailed to your house, but you will be able to go up after you've logged in and access our digital BI Magazine. Again, I think that our magazine is, outside of the stock selection guide, our most valuable resource. The second thing is, if people are interested in starting an investment club, down at the bottom on betterinvesting.org, there is a link that says request an investment club mentor. Just fill out the link. Somebody will get back to you within a reasonable frame of time and just talk to you about what that process looks like and help you figure out if it's right for you.
That's
Again,
great.
we're not selling anything. We're not pushing anything. You could tell even in this conversation, I'm not pushing everybody to be in an investment club. But I do know that everybody wants quality investment education.
Yeah.
And so that's what BetterInvesting.org
I'm going to join
provides.
that as soon as we're done with this podcast, and I'm going to put Miranda in there too, so she gets it as well.
Yeah, I wish this kind of education was in high school when I was young.
Perfect.
Kind of cool.
Perfect.
Well, we have gift memberships for those that want to purchase a membership, like you said, Aaron, for recent graduates or kids or nieces and nephews in your family. We have gift memberships on the site too that you could give. So,
do you guys? I don't know if you guys have any stats. This is probably a stupid question anyway, but I don't know if you guys have any stats. We do all these kind of stories on, the millennials are making the mistakes of the boomers, and Gen X's messed up all their life and all kinds of stuff. Do you have do you know the age groups that are really zoning in on your membership? Like, is there more millennials, more Gen X, more whatever, or is it just all kinds of age groups?
We have a variety. But to be honest, going to Stacy's point, we found there are two groups. The people that have the time and the money, and I don't know how old Stacy is, but I'm just going to say you have Stacy's age group.
38.
And then
68.
Okay, right. So we have a core group that's there, right? People that have the money, have the time, and say, you know what? I can do better than that financial planner. I can do better than that pension fund. I want to take a more active role. We have that group. And then we have the younger group who are waking up to, oh my gosh, retirement's within 10 years. I need to get serious about this.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have that late 30s, early 40s. So we have both of those as our core groups.
And we have that as our core groups. I'm the baby boomer, and my compatriots here are both in their 40s. Is that right?
Yeah.
No, actually, Aaron, did you just turn? Never mind.
Yeah.
I'm not 40 yet, so I'm not gonna, but I understand.
Aaron just turned 50. I am in my 40s. I am solidly into my mid 40s.
Excellent.
Okay, we have got to close this, guys. We've gone way over, but unless anybody has some burning thing they have to say, we're going to close it off right there, folks. We are out of time, but we are never out of topic. You need to dig a little deeper. You're going to find links to lots more info in our show notes. And remember, if your goal is to make more, to spend less, to retire rich, well, your online home is moneytalksnews.com. And don't forget to check out Miranda's online home as well. That is Miranda Marquit, MARQUIT.com. And of course, you can find Ionnie and lots of information at betterinvesting.org. If you've got a question, comment, or topic you'd like to suggest, don't just sit there. Tell us about it. You can email us at hello@moneytalksnews.com. And one final thing, if you like what we do, then do something for us. Tell your friends about our podcast, subscribe, leave us a nice review, be a pal. And finally, one last thing. It's not financial advice we gave you here today, so make sure you do your own research and consult your own experts before acting on anything you may have heard on this podcast. Ionnie, thank you again so much for being here. We really appreciate your time and your expertise. And I will see you on Wall Street.
Thank you, Stacey.
In the meantime, I am Stacey Johnson.
I'm Miranda Marquit.
I'm Aaron Friedman.
Thanks for hanging out
And
with
I'm
us.
Ionnie.
There you are. There you are, Ionnie. Thanks for hanging out with us, folks. We're going to see you right here next time.